Listo. Cuando se escuche entrecortado, pues me van avisando, por favor. Se escucha muy entrecortado. Let's see. Y pues qué pena tan horrible con ustedes esto que está ocurriendo. Vamos a ver. Ya cualquier cosa, ya me estoy comunicando con la coordinadora por si tenemos que recurrir a un plan B. Pero vamos a ver si lo logro. Cuando se escuche entrecortado,
Ya
así
se
yo estoy
escucha
hablando.
mejor, profe.
Señora,
Ya se escucha mejor.
sí, listo. Ok. Creo que ya me está sirviendo. Acá le puse el cablecito. Ojalá. Si se escucha entrecortado en algún punto, porfa, interrúmpanme. Para saber, igual lo que les contaba, voy a tratar de no poner la cámara y esas cosas para que sea lo menos disruptivo posible. Y pues nuevamente me disculpo, no se podía ir la red o incomodarse después de las 10 de la noche, tenía que ser ahorita. Bueno, guys, tratando de recuperar. Today we're going to continue our unit, of course. We will have a look at Unit 5. Unit 5 is about grammatical components. Thank you, Jorge. Uno no evita estrés. Yo trato de no estresarme, pero uno como profesor la sufre tanto. Permítame, le comento a la coordinadora que ya se escucha mejor. Se ve mejor. Esto va a quedar lindo en la grabación. Listo. Ahora sí. Okay, I was telling you that the idea on Unit 5 is talking about the grammatical component. Today, we will be talking about grammar, specifically talking about comparatives and superlatives. I dare to say that this is, let's say, an easy topic for you. The good thing is that you are very familiarized. This is more like a review of what comparatives and superlatives are. But anyway, the idea is to practice as much as possible, to refresh our memory, of course, and to have a look at some possible questions that we will have on our future exam. A mini paréntesis. Guys, para los estudiantes nuevos, ya se está haciendo la matrícula en el aula virtual. Cuando digo aula virtual, hago referencia a Moodle, como para no confundirnos de pronto en lo que son términos diferentes a lo que es el sistema académico. ¿Listo? Entonces, la idea es que ustedes vayan revisando, cuando digo ustedes, digo los estudiantes nuevos, y pues los estudiantes que ya vienen desde el ciclo pasado, por decirlo así, que ya están matriculados, pues empezar a realizar las actividades. Nuevamente, como yo les he venido contando, si llega a haber algún problema, en términos de que un cuestionario no sirve, más que no sirve, no, que de pronto las respuestas no cuadren, bueno, lo que sabemos que suele pasar. Pantallazo, nombre del cuestionario, de tal manera que pues le podamos hacer como la revisión correspondiente. ¿Listo? Bueno, como me demoré un poquito, entonces estaba esperando que pasaran unos minuticos más para tomar asistencia. Entonces, permítanme. La presentación. Se ve como lentico. Vamos acá, la voy a tomar por acá y luego le hago pues el ajuste a la asistencia original. Sergio David.
Present, teacher.
Sí, thank you. Andrés Felipe.
Present, teacher.
Ok, Jennifer Paola. Jennifer Paola Martínez.
Present, teacher.
Thank you.
Present.
Thank you, Jennifer. Kiara Lisette.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Jorge Jair. Thank you, Jorge. Ahí en el chat. Perfect. Let's continue with Diego Fernando.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Dana Valentina.
Present, Miss.
Thank you. Manuela Ortiz.
Present teacher.
Ok. Joan Sebastián Paón.
Present teacher.
Ok. Beatriz Omaira.
Present.
Ok. Hamilton.
Present teacher.
Ok. Juliet Stephanie. Juliet Stephanie Rangel. Voy a mirar. De pronto está conectada. No, todavía no. Continúo acá. No me quiero equivocar. Xiomara Caterine.
Present teacher.
Ok. Jessica Paola.
Present teacher.
Ok. Catherine Alexandra. Let's have a look at the chat. Thank you, Catherine. María Alejandra Rosso. Por el momento. Marlon Yesit.
Present teacher.
Ok. Mendy Fabián.
Present teacher.
Ok. Karen Juliet.
Present.
Very good. María Alejandra Vega. Ay, lápiz.
Present.
Ok. Vanessa Zambrano.
Present teacher.
And Natalia Navarro.
Present.
Okay, very good. I'm going to keep the information in here. Well, I don't want to upset the internet connection. Well, I think it's working. Quiero tener problemas acá. Okay, guys, remember that for you, the ones that have the book, we will be working on pages 44 and 45. And I was telling you some seconds ago that the idea of unit 5 in this particular set of pages, 44 and 45, is about the grammatical component. And of course, first we're going to have a look at some, let's say, general information that is going to be our source in order to study the grammatical components of the day. So here we have some comments. Comment 1, let's say comment 2, and comment 3. Let's have a look at the first instruction that we have in here. Andres Felipe, please, could you read instruction 1A?
Okay, teacher. 1A. Look at the photos of Matt at 3 different times in his life. Read the comments and match them with the photos.
Very good. So you are going to notice while we read the comments that the information of the comments, it's a little bit different to what we see on the pictures. So we have to make the adjustments. Now we have to match each picture to the corresponding comment. Of course, you are going to notice that on each picture, we are talking about comparatives and superlatives. Let's read the first comment that we have in here. Beatriz, could you read it, please?
Yes. I look so young in this one, younger than the other pictures. Certainly, my hair was longer than it is now. It was my boy band look. People say I looked like Robbie Williams. I thought it was really cool at the time, but actually it was probably the worst haircut in the world.
Very good. Thank you, Beatriz. Well, guys, from this first comment, do you have any question related to vocabulary?
No.
Okay, Beatriz, thank you very much. Keep in mind the information, what he is explaining, and remember, you are going to notice that the picture that we have in here is not that related to this information. We have to match it with the proper one. Let's have a look at the second comment. Diego, could you read it, please?
What part, teacher?
This second comment.
Okay. I definitely
look better in this one. It was about 3 years ago on holiday in California. My hair isn't as long as in the other one, and I think I look older, maybe because of the sunglasses.
That's it. Very good. And now let's have a look at comment number 3. Hamilton, could you read it, please? Well, actually, we have like a reply also on comment 3.
This is me with Mill a few months ago. It's similar to the last picture, but Mill says I look more serious and more sophisticated with the beard and mustache. I think I look happier in this one and more relaxed. Come on, you look happier because you're with me. This is definitely the best one because I'm in it. Mel.
That's it. Thank you, Hamilton. Very good. So here we have the 3 comments. Remember, guys, the idea, the intention is to match the picture to the comment that actually describes, in this case, the physical appearance that is being, let's say, presented or described in each paragraph. I'm going to give you probably 1 or 2 minutes. Also, I can check the attendance that I saw that someone like took part of the session some minutes ago, and I want to check that part. So remember, match the comment to the picture. 2 minutes. I'm going to speak in Spanish for a moment. Una pregunta, yo ya sé que ya hay un libro asignado. ¿Hay alguien más que falta por el libro? Sí. ¿O no? Bueno. Quiero pensar que silencioso, no que se está cayendo el internet y no me están escuchando.
Teacher,
Yes,
I
Hamilton.
received an email with
Okay. Perfect.
about one boot. Yes.
Okay, very good. And did you do the whole process with the PIN and the profile and stuff?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, in that sense, entonces, voy a dejarlo acá para que le tomes captura a estas 2 primeras. No sé si ya lo habías hecho. Okay. 5 seconds to take the screenshot of this one. Okay. You guys, the other ones have the book. Remember, we're talking about page 44. I'm going to give you, as I told you, a couple of minutes to have a look at the pictures and to compare with the comments. 2 minutes starting now. Okay. Let's see. So guys, if we have a look at the first comment that we have in here, which is the picture that actually describes, or that we can say that it is the one related to the comment being presented, A, B, or C?
B, teacher.
B.
B, you said B. Kiara, why do you think, well, yeah. Why B?
Because he look younger.
He looks younger. Very good. Well, and the description that he provides about the physical appearance, how his hair is, definitely matches that information. Very good. What about the second comment? In this case, which is the photograph that actually represents a description of the second comment that we have in here.
Sí.
Vanessa says, see, very good. What was the, let's say the hint, Vanessa, to decide that this comment was about, see?
Because he has the beard. Pardon, sorry. He has sunglasses.
He has sunglasses. Very good. And well, that means that the final comment, of course, it's about picture A. And also because we also have two people on the picture, right? Not only talking about Matt, we're talking about the person who is with him, probably his partner. That would be it. Guys, let me go back here. As I was telling you, the idea of today is talking about comparatives and superlatives. I dare to say that one great advantage that we have today is the fact that this is a topic that is somehow no. I can say that you are really familiarized with this topic of comparatives and superlatives. But first of all, we need, let's say, to take a step back and let's refresh our memory. When we talk about adjectives, what are they? What would be like the main, let's say, function of an adjective?
To give an extra information about the subject.
Very good, to give us information about the subject. In some cases, we can say that the most common category of comparatives and superlatives are the descriptive adjectives, and that's the group that we will be, let's say, analyzing today. Now, when we're talking about comparatives and superlatives, well, in general, English is very picky, you know, with the grammar that we need to use. When we're talking about the adjectives, we can say that we have, let's say, 4 categories. 1 syllable, 2 syllables. In some cases, 2, 3 syllables are connected. And of course, irregular forms. We have the case of young. If we use the comparative, would be younger. And the superlative would be the youngest. Now, what would be the difference between comparatives and superlatives? Because the name of comparative is really obvious. Un comparativo, pues que compara. The superlative is exactly the same. The idea of the superlative is to compare, but when we're talking about the superlative is 3 or more. Comparative is only 2. Superlative is 3. Okay? Let's have a look at the adjectives that finish with Y. We know that in English, the Y, let's say that suffers a lot. Look at the transformation that we have in here. Happier, the superlative would be the happiest. In some cases, there are some, let's say, kind of exceptions. Why not? We have serious, more serious, contamos la sílaba, serious, the most serious, and of course we have irregular forms. There are different irregular forms. In this case, we're going to talk about the most common ones. We have good, that would be better. I know that you know, but gooder doesn't exist, or goodest doesn't exist. We know that it is the best. And with bad, we have the worst. Positive and negative superlative. Jorge, what do you mean by positive and negative?
I remember that 2 categories.
2 categories?
Categories. And the superlatives.
Okay, well, more like positive and negative superlatives I think that maybe you mean positive and negative adjectives, you know? Because, well, superlative
Maybe.
is not really negative. It's depending on the adjective that we use, right? That is going to be like our point of reference, I dare to say.
Okay, I understand.
Good. Yeah, depending on the adjective, we can decide if they are positive or negative. But in general, well, we can't say that superlative is negative or positive. Usually the superlative highlights one among many things. Could be in a positive or negative way. Okay. I don't know if there was a camera on. Listo, ahora sí.
Sorry.
Okay. Yes. Okay, sorry, the camera. Okay, don't worry. Very good. So keep in mind this information as I was telling you. I know that this is just a review for you. And anyway, let's put it into practice. Let me share this screen to you. Besides the comparatives and the superlatives, what you're going to have in mind also is some expressions that we can use to compare. Here we have the beginning of 5 statements with the answers already. And in this part, as you can see, we have like the connection or like the second part. Look at number 1. It says, she's older than me. That would be the typical comparative form. Number 2 is the typical superlative form, the best in the world.
In the world.
Number 1 and number 2 are the typical, you know. Number 1 is comparative. Number 2 is the superlative. Let's have a look at number 3. It says, it's the same as mine. In this case, we are comparing, and the idea in this statement is that both things that we are talking about have exactly the same characteristic. Let's have a look at number 4. It says it's similar to the other one. Once again, we are making a comparison, but the general idea at the end of the day is that the two things that I am comparing are exactly the same. Now we can talk about like the whole opposite, like the case of number 5. They are different from the others. I'm making a comparison, but in this case, I'm not saying that they, let's say, have similar characteristics. I'm talking about that the idea is, let's say, the complete opposite. And also, let's say, going back to sharing similarities, we have number 6. She looks like me. Remember that in this unit, we are talking about also, among other aspects of vocabulary, of course, physical appearance. And when we say that that expression in particular is because the two people are, let's say, pretty similar, not exactly the same. So I'm going back to the previous slide. Of course, when we are comparing, these two structures are, let's say, the most common. Why not the most relevant? But of course, they are not the only ones. In some cases, we can also use other expressions that at the end of the day, what they are doing is to helping us comparing. Could be that the characteristics are exactly the same, like similar in this case, of course, same, and the one in number 6, or in some cases that we want to go to the whole opposite direction, like is the case of number 5. Guys, do you have any question of vocabulary from slide number 3 or number 4?
Teacher, how's the difference between like me and as mine?
Number 6, she looks like me. And, you know, I would dare to say that the difference would be minimum, but in the case of same as mine, the level of similarity is closer. Let's use like percentage, you know? If I say it's the same as mine, it's like they are 100% similar. But she looks like me, it is like 80% similar. So that would be like the perception, you know?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, John. Good question. Any other question, guys? Okay. Well, guys, let's go back to the book. Remember that for the moment, we're still working on page 44. We already, let's say, analyzed this grammatical chart, the same that we had on the PowerPoint presentation. First, you're going to do practice 1. I'm going to read the instruction for you. It says, complete the sentences using the comparative or superlative form of the word in brackets. Remember, guys, comparatives means that we're talking about 2. Superlatives, we're talking about 3 or more. Also, I'm sure that you already recognized some, let's say, general hints, like the use of than. Let's go back to the presentation. When we're talking about comparative, sorry, in this one, the use of than. When we're talking about the superlative, we always have the. So those are like the mini things in terms of grammar that can be like a guide to know if we're talking about comparative or superlative. Also, make sure that you analyze the information in order to, let's say, transform the adjective in the correct way. Guys, did you have any question about the instruction?
No.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the answer. You know that I'm suffering today with the connection. There are 7 statements. We already have number 1. Excuse me, we already have an example. It says my hair is longer than it was 10 years ago. So we have than, that is only comparative. We don't have more possibilities. It is a short adjective, so we use ER. I'm gonna give you 7 minutes in order to analyze. Remember that in some cases we have irregular forms. Be careful with the exceptions. And then, of course, after the 7 minutes, we will check the answers with the whole group. Well, guys, no more interruptions from my part. 7 minutes starting now. Okay, guys, time's up. We were doing our first exercise, talking about comparatives, superlatives, of course, also having a look at some expressions. We will be doing 2 more exercises, trying to put this into practice as much as possible. Let's see how you guys completed the statements. Let's have a look at statement number 2. Number 1, sorry. Xiomara, could you read it, please?
Yes, teacher. His style, moderner, his style is moderner than mine.
Modern is tricky.
More modern?
Tricky.
Yeah. Remember, guys, the meaning of tricky?
More modern?
Yes.
Tres sílabas.
No, not necessarily. Remember that case can occur, well, usually our, let's say, idea is with 3 syllables, but there are some cases that it occurs with 2 as well, and modern is one of those cases. As you have already noticed with the grammatical rules in English, there are cases that they are not like, let's say, 100% perfect, because we say modern 2 syllable, moderner. I mean, it's a very logical conclusion that we can get, but modern belongs to that group that is not with ER. We have to use more first. So how do we know it? We use them. In some cases, we make the mistake, but then we remember that in the future, we won't say moderner. The proper way will be modern. So that's how it works. Let's go back. Let's have a look at number 2. Vanessa, could you read it, please?
These jeans were the most expensive jeans if ever bought.
I've ever bought. Very good. In this case, it is superlative. Well, we can say, because Dan is not present. That could be also a good conclusion, but if we analyze the statements, if we say the jeans I've ever bought, I can somehow assume that in my life, I've had more than 2 pairs of jeans. And that means that we're making a comparison of many, many of them. And that is why we can use the superlative. It's not only because Dan is not present, of course. Dan no idea. The most expensive. I will show you the answer key then for you to make like a full, let's say, comparison of your answers and what we have in here. Let's have a look at number 3, Valentina Ortiz. Could you read it, please?
This shop is better than that one.
Very good. We already know that good is one of the, let's say, irregular. We know that gooder doesn't exist. And at the same time or on the same line, then is giving us like the clue, like we know that we are talking about the comparative form. Sergio, please, number 4.
Okay, teacher. Number 4. Could you bring the biggest bag you can find?
Very good. The same idea. If we analyze the context, we're talking about that there are different bags, definitely more than 2. So that's like a, let's say, big comparison that we're making in here. Sebastian, number 5, please. Sebastian Pavón.
She's the happiest than she was before in their job.
Sebastian, notice that here in the statement we have then.
Okay, she's happier than she was before in her job.
Very good. Remember, then is always like the clue to identify that in this case, what we need is the comparative. Thank you very much.
Only then is with comparative?
Yes, it's like very restrictive, we can't use, I mean, when I say can't, it's because it is way too grammatically incorrect if we combine that with the superlative. Maybe we somehow can guess the idea, but it is way too incorrect in terms of grammar. So done only with comparative.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, Sebastian, very good. Let me see, there is one person in sala de espera. Listo. Manuela, what about number 6? Manuel Ortiz.
Teacher, I don't know. I am not sure.
Okay. Let's see if Natalia can help us.
Yes, 6.
Mhm.
That's one of the busiest shops I've been into today.
Very good. In this case, it is the superlative. Once again, if we like analyze the situation, the person has visited different shops during the day, not only 2, probably 4, 5, 6. And that is why the superlative is the best option in this case. And let's finish with number 7. Mendy, please.
Okay, that's worst photo I've ever seen of myself.
That's the worst. Okay.
That's the worst.
Very good. Let me show you here the answer key, for you to compare. And once again, let's say to analyze certain things. As we have already stated, number 1, done only with comparatives. It can't be used with superlative because it is way too incorrect. And in the case of the superlatives, notice that we always use the. It doesn't matter if we use the extended form, like in this case, most expensive, or if we use the reduced form, adding the suffix to the adjective, like the biggest, but the has to be present always when we talk about the superlatives. Guys, any question?
No, teacher.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, guys, this was the first exercise. I told you that we were going to do 3 exercises before we move to the listening activity that we have for today. Here, as you remember, or as you notice, the idea was to complete with the comparative or superlative. On exercise 2A, as you are going to notice, there are some mistakes on each one. And the idea is to complete it with the missing word. I'm going to read the instruction. It says, write the missing word in each sentence. Make sure that you read all of them so you can identify what the missing information is. All sentences require, let's say, correction. Let's do number 1 as an example. Look how the sentence is written. It says, my father is older, my mother. Which is the word that we need to complete it in here? We already know that is comparative, right? We have ER.
Done.
Falta done.
Older than my mother.
Very good. Well, sorry for my handwriting. So we would need on this space the word done. So what you're going to do is to analyze from number 2 to number 8. We can say that we already did number 1 as an example. So you can make the proper correction. Now, guys, in this case, we are talking about not only comparatives and superlatives. Let me go back to the presentation. We are also talking about the different expressions that we were using or that we know that are also suitable for comparing. Could be that we're talking about, let's say, similarities or that we're talking about differences. So it's not only to put done and that's it. Analyze the statements. So you know what, in the first example, it was done. Let's say that normal, why not? But in the other cases, probably there are some words that take part of these comparative expressions and that we can use to complete the whole idea. For this part, we already did number 1. Once again, I'm going to give you 7 minutes. After the 7 minutes, then we're going to listen to check the answers. Okay? Guys, do you have any question about instructions?
No, teacher.
Thank you, Kiara. Very good. Well, let's begin, guys. 7 minutes starting now. Okay, guys, time's up. Remember, in this case, the idea was to complete the statements. All of them had something to be added. And in some cases, probably was, let's say, a little bit obvious because of the comparative or superlative form. In other cases, we were talking about the expressions that we can use to compare. So we had to analyze like in which part of the sentence we had to put the word. What we're going to do to check them is that we're going to listen to the statements, okay? We're going to listen twice just to make sure that you, let's say, collect all the information in order to know which were the words that we needed to include on each part of the sentences. Let's see.
Unit 5, Recording 1. 1. My father is older than my mother. 2.
I'm very different from my sister.
3. His hair is very similar to mine. 4.
She's the nicest person I know.
5. Her nose is the same as mine. 6.
I look like my father.
7. Who's the oldest person in your family? 8.
My brother isn't as tall as me.
5, Recording 1. 1. My father is older than my mother. 2.
I'm very different from my sister.
3. His hair is very similar to mine. 4.
She's the nicest person I know.
5. Her nose is the same as mine. 6.
I look like my father.
7. Who's the oldest person in your family? 8.
My brother isn't as tall as me.
Okay, very good. Guys, did you have any question from the statements? In case that probably there was a problem with the connection. Yes, Jennifer. Sorry.
Teacher, I can hear that A statement because I think so I hear the same, like I say.
It looks like the same. Let's have a look at the answer key. It's as tall. It's kind of fast, you know. My brother isn't as tall as me.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay. You are asking sentence number 6. I look like my father. Well, here we have the other statements for you to check, to compare.
Teacher,
Yes,
why they use as tall?
In this case, as is also a way to say that they are almost the same. I could use the expression of the same, like we have the same height. But another way to use it is with as. In this case, when the statement is affirmative, that means that the characteristics are similar. In this case, the statement is negative. So I'm pointing out that one person is taller than the other. So it is also a way to make comparison. Tan alto como.
In affirmative, my brother taller is
No.
taller
Mm.
than me, for example.
Oh, okay. Like let's say the comparative, the normal comparative, my brother is taller than me.
Okay. In negative, my brother isn't as tall as me.
Okay. But
Yes.
as can be, I mean, we have the two possibilities. You decide if you use as or if you use the comparative. Because you can say, I am taller than my brother. That is like the typical sentence. Or you can say, my brother isn't as tall as me. At the end of the day, the two sentences are stating the same. I am the one that is actually taller. That is actually tall, sorry. Or am I confusing you, Beatriz?
No, I understand. But I have other question. Why use the 7, the holes, if whole is as one syllable?
Yes.
Okay. This is singular. Okay. No. One syllable. Holder or holders. Why?
Because precisely what you say, Beatriz, is one syllable. And that is why we use the suffix. Different if we were talking about like beautiful, you know, in that case will be the most beautiful. Remember the rule, precisely when we have one syllable, let's go back to the presentation. Here, precisely when we have one syllable is when we use the EST, like, let's say 98% of cases, because as usual, there are exceptions. And in this case is the oldest.
Because it's superlative. Okay.
In the superlative one.
Okay.
What question, Beatriz? Guys, any other question? Okay. Well, guys, for the next part, we're going to do a speaking activity, but in this case, the activity is going to be done in pairs. It is not in our
teacher.
book.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
Other question. The preposition to exceeds other prepositions or only the book?
Other prepositions, yeah, we have many. You know, in English probably is like the tricky grammatical part. We have to, on, in, on, above, like there is a huge list. Probably when we're talking about, let's say, a list of the most used prepositions, to probably goes on the top, but there are more. Okay.
Okay.
Very good, guys. Any other question? Wait, sorry, there is a car selling something. Señor, yes.
En la tercera también se podría con as o solo con tú.
Fine. He's very, said we have to change a little bit. The expression will be, he's as similar as me. We also have to change the final, in this case, it's a pronoun. Okay, in this case, we're talking about the hair. Let me close the microphone for a second. Está más lejitos. Well, in this case, we're talking about the hair. We can say his hair is as similar as mine. Let's keep mine, porque estamos hablando de cabello, algo que me pertenece. We had to include as, and we have to eliminate to. And, well, decir que el cabello es tan parecido como el mío. Even in Spanish, that sounds weird, you know? Probably, it's as short as mine. It's as, I don't know, dark as mine. But para decir es tan parecido como el mío, that sounds a little bit weird. Well, probably we would need to change the adjective. Okay. Any other question, guys? Well, I was telling you that we were going to move to an activity, sorry, and it is going to be done in pairs. Remember that on this unit 5, well, of course, today we have, let's say, a look at the grammatical components, but we can't forget that we're talking about physical appearance. We are talking about the body. We are talking about clothes as well. The next activity is not in our book, okay? It's from a different one. And of course, let's say that taking advantage of today's topic, we are going to talk about clothes. It says compare clothes. In pairs, I'm gonna send you to breakout rooms. Well, actually, let me ask first. I'm gonna ask this in Spanish. Todos, es decir, no hay alguien que pronto tenga algún problema con el micrófono, ya sea porque no le está funcionando, también porque la señal está mala, porque no puede hablar.
For me, no, miss.
Okay.
I having problems.
You don't have problems? Okay, guys, I'm gonna send you to
Yes, I
working
don't.
pairs. Well, let me know. Notice the question that we have in here. The day that you're going to compare what you and your partner are wearing today, your mother or father usually wear with, and what you usually wear, what you are wearing today and the clothes you wore yesterday, you wear for school or work and the clothes you wear on weekends. There are 4, but you are going to choose only one, okay? Let's make sure that all of you can participate. I'm going to create the breakout rooms. Acá. Okay. I'm going to create them again, and some people are already telling me that the microphone is not working. So we are going to be working in groups of 3 people, okay? To make sure that all of you, well, the ones that have problems can actually use at least the chat, but having the opportunity that some of you can speak. 3, 4, 3, 4. Very good. A ver, 3, 3, 3, lo siento. Listo. Okay, guys. Remember, there are here, bueno, como lo voy a cambiar ahora para grupos más grandes, entonces lo voy a extender un poquito más. I was telling you that you were going to choose only one. On each group, you're going to choose 2, okay? You decide if you want to compare the clothes that you have today and the clothes that your parents usually use, or maybe you're talking about the clothes that you used yesterday, or maybe the clothes that you're using on weekends. That's okay. So, do you have any question?
No, teacher.
Well, guys, thank you very much. So, remember, you can choose any pair that you want, the first and the fourth, the second and the third, that's up to you. I'm gonna send you to the groups. I hope that with 10 minutes is more than enough. Let's begin. Hi, guys.
¿Por qué no le tomamos captura a...
Hi. Okay. Look at it.
Listo.
Stop. Very good. I'm going to stop sharing. See you in a moment. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.
Hi, guys.
Hi, teacher. Es que queríamos que por favor nos dejara ver de nuevo las preguntas porque ninguna de las dos alcanzó a tomarle el pantallazo.
Okay.
Listo, gracias, teacher.
So, ladies. Okay, see you in a moment. Bye.
Bye.
Well, guys, welcome back. Did you finish?
Yes, Miss, I can a favor.
Ask for a favor? Sure, of course.
In this moment, I am at the work, but I am driving for my house. My coworkers write the sentences, the exercise, but they are told for me. Yes,
They will talk for you. Okay. Well, it was group work, so let's say that they are the ones in charge of sharing what you have created as a group. Well, I think that the internet improved. Let's see if I can turn my camera on. So at least don't worry, and of course be careful. The idea was to choose among the 4 aspects. You you had to choose 2 in order to create those statements. In this case, the general aspect was talking about comparatives. I think that we can play the Kahoot that I have in mind to have a look at the information related to the superlatives. So from group number 1, we have Diego, Mendy, Sergio, and Valentina. So who is going to be in charge of sharing what you created, talking about comparisons?
Okay, teacher. The first statement you and your partner are wearing today. We say Diego and Mendy are wearing more work clothes than Valentina and Sergio.
Okay, very good.
And the second is about the third statement. Is today I'm wearing more comfortable clothes than yesterday.
Comfortable. Very good. Thank you, group number 1. Let's have a look at group number 2. We had Jennifer, Jorge, Marlon, and Sebastian. So who is in charge of sharing the statements?
Yes, teacher.
Sebastian.
Jennifer is wearing a dark t-shirt like me.
A dark t-shirt?
A dark t-shirt like me.
Okay.
My clothes, it's the most comfortable of all.
Comfortable.
Comfortable, sorry.
And well, clothes, it's okay. Clothes is considered plural, you know? Clothes are.
My clothes are the most comfortable of all.
Comfortable.
Comfortable, sorry.
Okay.
I wear dark jeans similar to Jennifer.
Okay, very good.
And I wear more comfortable clothes on weekends than I wear in the university.
In the university?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, very good. You created the 4 statements. That's it. And you also use the other expressions and not only the comparatives and superlatives that, you know, that is always the idea. We know that you know, of course, but in some cases there are new expressions, new phrases, and that's intention, guys, that you start like including them into the usual vocabulary that you have. And of course, as you can imagine, the idea is that you put that into practice the day of the speaking exam that is, you know, next week on Friday. Thank you, group number 2. Group number 3, Hamilton, Catherine, and Vanessa. Who's in charge?
Teacher, Catherine is wearing more comfortable clothes than the others.
Okay.
Mother's Catherine wear the same clothes as mine.
Catherine's
Catherine's mother's, yes.
Okay.
The uniform of my coworkers is more comfortable than the clothes. And finally, the weekend's clothes is the most elegant clothes that we use.
Okay. Well, first of all, keep in mind the pronunciation. In some cases, I listen like that, but you know that we are talking about them, right? And also, similar to what I was saying to the previous group, In terms of the grammatical category, clothes is plural. So we say clothes are instead of clothes is. We're talking about like the great, let's say the bigger group. It is different if I say a shirt, I don't know, a cap. But when we're talking about clothes in general, the word is plural. So we say clothes are, okay? But very good. And
Okay,
also,
teacher.
the pronunciation. Actually, the two pronunciations are okay. We can say, I mean, it's fine. If we say comfortable or comfortable, but comfortable, no, that is not correct. Both pronunciations are fine. So whatever
Yes.
you prefer between those two, it's perfect. So, Hamilton, thank you very much. And of course, group number 3. Group number 4, for the moment, we have Kiara and Xiomara.
Hi, teacher.
No.
Beatrice is wearing pants similar to the other days.
Okay.
The clothes Beatrice wears on weekend is as comfortable as Xiomara's wear on weekends.
Are as comfortable. Are. Because remember, clothes is plural.
Are. Yes, teacher. The Kiara's uniform are very different from the clothes usually wear Beatrice for her job.
Usually Beatrice wears. Let's go back to the second sentence. Could you repeat it, please?
The clothes Beatrice wears on weekend are as comfortable as Xiomara's wear on weekends.
Okay. Xiomara's. Very good. And sorry, could you repeat the third one?
Kiara's uniform
is.
Yes.
Okay.
Kiara is uniform.
No, Kiara is no. Kiara's uniform, like talking about the possession, like the uniform of Kiara.
Yes,
but you said like are, because when you read number 3, I was thinking of number 2. That is why I was asking you like to repeat it.
Okay. Kiara's uniforms are. Is plural.
Okay, good. Sorry, could you repeat it the last time, I promise?
Kiara's uniforms are very different from the clothes usually wears Beatrice for her job.
The clothes Beatrice usually wears. So careful with the order. The clothes Beatrice usually wears. The other one, it's more like the, let's say, it looks like a Spanish, although the idea is pretty clear. We know what each word means, but in terms of the grammar or the organization that we need to keep in English, the clothes, sorry, Beatrice usually wears, but they're very good. And actually, you had a lot of information. Nice. Thank you, group number 4. Let's have a look at group number 5. We have Andre Felipe, Karen, and Manuela.
Okay, I worked with Manuela and with my partner, we say the next. I am wearing the same clothes today to yesterday because I am in the house right now. And the answer of my partner is kind of similar as mine because she used today the same pajamas to yesterday.
She used today the same pajamas from yesterday. Not to, from. Could you repeat the first sentence? Sorry.
I am wearing the same clothes today to yesterday because I am in the house right now.
Okay, I'm wearing the same clothes today from yesterday. Not to, from. There.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Leo de nuevo la segunda.
No. Okay. The other way was like I thought that was like a complement of the first one. So those are the two sentences.
No, nosotros solo seleccionamos una porque pues...
Como
pues,
estaban
mi
las dos,
Sí,
entonces
no
solo
tenía ella
escogieron
tampoco el
una.
micrófono.
Es una conclusión acertada. Okay, don't worry. Thank you. And then the last one, Maria, Natalia, and Jessica.
Okay, we are talking about the clothes that we are wearing today.
Okay.
So Maria's clothes is more elegant than Natalia's clothes. Sorry. Jessica is wearing clothes more colorful than Maria.
More colorful clothes.
More colorful clothes, okay. Maria's clothes is the most expensive of the group.
Maria's clothes are.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and Jessica's clothes are prettier than Maria's clothes.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much. Well, guys, keep in mind all those things that we keep on like, let's say correcting. I always say the same, but it's because it's true. You have a really good level. I know that you know, but there are always like moments or spaces, you know, to make some corrections in order to polish everything that you know. So clothes are, careful with the comparative, those things. Guys, to finish our session, now that it looks like my internet is actually working properly, we're going to finish it with a Kahoot. While you take part of the session, while you choose your avatar and your nickname, I can give you like some information about this Kahoot. The idea that you're going to choose the sentence that actually it's well created. And of course that at the same time, it's a sentence that makes sense. In this case, it's not about organizing like we did the other day. There are two sentences and you have to choose the correct statement, not only in terms of grammar, I repeat that part, but also making sure that the information is actually correct. Once again, I repeat, the statement makes sense. I'm gonna send the link again. Someone took part of the session. And with this, we would finish the first part of the session. You know that you continue with Laura on the second part. There are 9 participants. Well, let's turn the camera off. I'm gonna drink some water. $14 out of 20. $15. At 7:42, I will click on empezar.
Okay, Miss, remember I am driving.
Okay, so don't play, Beatriz. No se ponga a jugar, usted está manejando. No mire acá, por favor. Don't worry about the game. Okay, 7:42. Let's start. Remember, guys, the idea is to choose the statement that is correct. Look at them. Very good. Big is a short adjective. It's not an exception or a tricky word. More big wouldn't be grammatically correct. Although the idea is pretty obvious, let's say the grammatical form is adding the suffix. Let's see. Andres, very good. Number 2. Oh my God. Well, actually, this is good because we have some space for improvement. We're talking about Tokyo. Remember that large is a synonym of big. Now, most largest would be, first of all, it would be like way too repetitive, and we have than. Remember, guys, that than is only for comparatives. And in the case of number 6, again, it's like a tricky part. Large is a short adjective, only one syllable, large. Maybe we see like 1, 2, but in terms of pronunciation, it's only 1. That is why the correct statement is Tokyo is the largest. Wow, Catherine, very good. Number 3. Better. Difficult. In this case, it's a 3-word syllable. That is what we have to use more. All of them were comparatives. Notice that we were using than. Again, remember, guys, we can't use than with superlatives. Most is the, let's say, the representative of the superlatives. And notice that in this case, we have only part of the idea, than, okay, but where is more? It is incomplete. Next. Okay, Sebastian, very good. Very good. The most beautiful. We have 3 syllables. Beautifulest doesn't exist. Is the most beautiful city in the world. What happened with the blue one? Notice that we have than. Remember, bueno, I guess that it was a tricky part. Se escapó. I don't think that you actually thought of that one. Okay. En la mitad. Okay, again, dangerous. Dangerous doesn't exist. Better than any other city. Nothing to say. Next statement. That's it. It is the superlative form. Remember that goodness doesn't exist. It's one of the irregular ones. Okay, we're about to finish 3 and we finish the first part of our session tonight. It's just the name of a team, you know. Okay, the worst team, in this case, worst doesn't exist. Remember that baddest doesn't exist. In this case, we're talking about the irregular ones. Okay, not many changes. 2 to finish. It's further than London. In this case, the spelling changes as well. The final one. Okay, in this case, the saddest. You know the rule, consonant, vowel, consonant. Let's finish it. Catherine, excellent. That's a nice avatar. All of you have a good one. Jennifer, very good. And Sebastian, the absolute winner. Okay. Of course, Mandy and Natalia's runners-up. Excellent as well. Very good, guys. Well, keep in mind all the information that we shared tonight. Of course, talking about general aspects of comparatives and superlatives, we didn't do the listening. We changed it to the speaking activity that you did comparing clothes. Well, guys, thank you very much. Sorry about the whole inconvenience with the internet, but the good thing is that at the end of the day, we could actually manage and finish what the topic that I had in mind for today. Guys, let me know if you have any questions in this moment. Questions? That's it. Well, guys, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher. Bye, teacher. Teacher, teacher,
Yes, Beatriz, señora.
teacher, can you send me or send us for investigation about the comparative and superlative, but I'm very confused.
Ah, okay. You want like extra material to study comparatives and superlatives? Okay, sure. I will send it tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, Beatriz. Excellent.
Bye.
Bye.